So autonomous trucking is essentially self-driving trucks. Over the years, we have seen movies being made about autonomous trucking, but had always thought of these innovations as a very distant future. Movies like Herbie, where a Volkswagen Beetle is able to drive itself and have feelings of its own, or the more popular movie Transformers, where robots are able to transform to an automotive vehicle, having feelings of their own and fighting crime. Now these distant future innovations are just around the corner with the experimental autonomous trucking happening right now. Essentially, this trucking works by an artificial intelligence computer, otherwise known as advanced driver assistance systems, that are able to control main functions of an autonomous truck, like power steering, cruise control, and brake pressure. As of right now, a certified truck driver must stay in the vehicle at all times. The industry is interested in this technology for a few different reasons. Over the years, there has been a driver shortage of certified drivers. It is expected that by 2022, there will be over 240,000 positions that need to be filled and rising every year on. Because baby boomers are retiring and young people today are taking a different step towards their career by either going to college or trade school, these shortages were bound to increase in the trucking industry. Also, this technology will be less prone to human error from physically and mentally tired drivers. From this, less accidents will occur and costs loss. And lastly, these technologies will help truck owner companies increase their profits and revenues each year because 1/3 of the salaries will not be going to truck drivers. And the way that this technology changes the limitations of the industry are astronomical. For instance, autonomous trucking solves a need that is necessary in the supply chain. If there is not enough truck drivers to run product, the economy will suffer. Therefore, with autonomous driving, it will help provide the economy with the trucks it needs to make the runs without needing drivers, since there's already a shortage. Also, another way that technology is changing the game is that artificial intelligence does not need to take breaks and is not prone to human error. And because of this fact, more runs can be made throughout the day, increasing efficiency in the supply chain.
So how does autonomous trucking enable a process redesign? The Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration has a new ruling that they will no longer assume that a human is driving or necessarily on board a vehicle, which obviously changes the process of drivers' hour tracking. Specifically, it gives them more time on the road with less time charged as actually driving for individual truck drivers. This can enable drivers to rest while still making progress towards their destination, as opposed to with regular trucking methods, they would have to stop and halt the transportation process. Next slide, please. And what has been the track record of this technology? Autonomous trucking has the potential to save the industry quite a bit of money. It can lower operating costs by 45%, saving over 100 million. It's trimmed inventories by 75%, warehousing costs down by 15 to 30%, and administrative costs down by 80%. So autonomous trucking can be very efficient. Right now, it's about working out the kinks in the system, but once it's all flattened out, this will be a very cost-saving option. Next slide.
So what mistakes have been made with this technology in the past? So autonomous trucking has been advertised to be safer than traditional trucking, and this may be true in open road like the Midwest, but autonomous trucking may not be ideal for more urban settings. For example, in New York, there might be tight spaces for pickup and delivery, and an autonomous truck may read its surrounding as unsafe, and that will stop the truck, while a traditional driver will be able to get the delivery done and cause less traffic. Next slide.
How does this technology, oh, sorry, Karina, this is you. Go ahead.
No worries. How does this technology improve upon recent mistakes? So Recently, electronic stability control technology has been implemented into autonomous trucking. This technology assesses road conditions to be able to adjust the truck depending on its conditions. And now I'm going to ask for you to click on a video.
So how does the technology promise a better performance? Autonomous trucking promises to make delivery time shorter, highways substantially safer, and to increase the productivity of each vehicle. It also promises to replace human-based driving by using the latest technological advancements and making A to B services not only more affordable, but safe. You can go to the next slide. What process would you suggest to assure this technology is a success? So test driving is the best process to assure this technology is not only successful, but safe. Only by test driving these trucks in real life road and traffic conditions will manufacturers ensure the optimum safety and efficiency of the technology within autonomous commercial vehicles. You can go to the next slide.
So what kind of value would it create for our customers and constituents of the process? Is there a better way of delivering the values to the customer? So this process would create a level of trust with the customers. When people see that these trucks have been tested on the road and they're safe, so there would be definitely a level of trust built. So autonomous trucking advocates could definitely glamorify the technology, but when you see the statistics, they don't lie, and that's what customers need to see.
So for the discussion questions, we have 3 different questions for you guys to think about. The first one is, what is your opinion on autonomous trucking? The next one is, how do you think the industry will change with autonomous trucking, and will it be beneficial? And the last one is, who should be held responsible if an accident or malfunction occurs? And that's our presentation.
Yeah, can we go back to the discussion question? Yes, thank you for your presentation. And I think it's important for the class to respond to these questions. Can please anybody share your opinions and what when you think about autonomous trucking? And
I'll say something.
okay.
I think it's like a really good idea. I think that I mean, it will take jobs away from potential people, but I guess we already mentioned that the jobs are kind of already going away as it is, but just from a change in career choices by many people nowadays. So it seems like a good idea to counteract that with trucks that are able to drive themselves, or even just get from one place to another. And if it's able to prevent more accidents than that occur on the road today already, then I don't see why wouldn't be a great idea to have.
Okay. So thank you for sharing your opinion. What's your name again? I don't see.
Ryan.
Ryan Flynn? Or?
Yep. Yeah, Ryan Flynn.
Okay, good. Ryan Flynn shared that he thinks it's a good idea. It's efficient, and driving truck is not easy. And if you especially deliver a product from here to California or back and forth, that's a lot of work. So in that sense, it's good. Any other opinions?
Yeah.
I got one for the second question.
Okay.
So like I think it'll definitely benefit the trucking industry overall. Because like it should. So drivers right now are like restricted, I know, by like how many hours they can drive consecutively, and how many hours they can drive in a day or before they have to rest or anything. But autonomous trucks could just drive straight through. So like like a driver couldn't drive from New York to California. It's not possible. But an autonomous truck could feasibly do it. I mean, provided it has like enough fuel. But So that it definitely cut down on like transit times and possibly other and like you know, it would be also cheaper than like hiring a driver, so it would also cut down on transportation costs. Um, so I mean, I think all in all, it would be beneficial to the industry.
Oh, thank you. Who is it again? What's your name?
It's Eric Duffy.
Oh, Eric Duffy. Thank you for sharing. And
Mhm.
there was another student who wanted to talk about, was it?
Yeah, I was going to say, in response to the second question, but Eric kind of covered basically everything I was going to say. So,
Okay, good. Thank you. What about, is there anyone else who would like to talk about who should be held responsible if an accident or malfunction occurs? For example, 911 happened in 2002, and now it's autopilot, and hackers are abounding these days in countries like North Korea, China, um, Russia, and Middle East, and any other places. And if they hack into this truck, they can be used as causing terrors to people and organizations. And there could be any other malfunctions occurring. So anybody would like to share your opinions about that?
I think it's difficult to obviously it's very difficult to determine who's responsible. I just think that the water is too murky in this situation, like in the regard that like putting autonomous trucks on the same roads as like civilians driving just might, like, I don't know that, I guess you would have to make the company responsible for it, but compared to when a person is driving a truck, there's obviously just a greater level of accountability like associated with it, because like there's no black or white when someone's driving a car. If you crash a car, like, and you're driving it, it's your fault, or whoever's driving the other car's fault. When you have an autonomous truck, it's hard to say. I think just the companies, but yeah, it's hard. I don't know. I don't really have the answer, but that's just my input.
I feel like it really depends on the case. Like, so if it gets in an accident, I would say that it's manufacturer's fault instead of the company's. But like, it probably takes.
Okay, thank you. Before Laura, who was that? I did not see your face.
It was me, Professor Dylan.
Oh, Dylan. Oh, thank you, Dylan. Very good. Okay. Yeah. So in my opinion, if autonomous vehicle takes place and earns credibilities in the industry, what's going to happen is that there will be a few big logistics industry or companies dominating the industry, because now they don't have to hire any people, and it's a matter of buying lots of autonomous cars and running the business for car business or food business or any other transportations. And it's likely that they are going to take over the industry and run it. And the more money they have, the more economy of scale happens. So that's what I'm thinking in the future. So let's see how it goes. And as I said, I'm concerned because it might be easier for terrorists to use this autonomous vehicle to do things for themselves. So that's another concern I have. In terms of the responsibility, I'm not so sure. It may, as Laura said, it may be the fault of the manufacturer of the cars. It may be also the company's mishandling of that regulations, or it could be related to the infrastructure. So it's going to be very complex, and we will need people who specialize in this industry and provide guidance for that. Any other comments? Any comments you guys want to make?
Yeah, I got one. I was going to say that just in terms of confidence and having the autonomous vehicles in general, I think that it wouldn't be effective, or the smartest way to do it would be to just have you can't integrate. I think it should be like, if you're going to go autonomous trucking, it should be all in. You shouldn't have some human error and some human operators and some machine operators. You know what I'm saying? Because I think then the human error is still too much involved. Once you get rid of the human error, then I would have faith in the autonomous trucking to make the right decisions based on the other autonomous trucks around, as opposed to the autonomous truck trying to calculate for human error on top of its own error, if that makes sense.
I see. So, if you are the owner of the business, you would go for 100% autonomous vehicle, or at least 90, 80% autonomous vehicle, so that you can separate human errors from machine errors. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah, it's a near future. In the near future, this will be the reality, and the industry will change quickly, and process design needs to be done again. And we have to think about how to revamp the industry and adopt this technology for your business, or prepare for the technology for your business. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Karina and Liv and Nicolette and Lacey, for doing a good job. And I hope next group will also do an excellent job, and we'll enjoy the discussion together. Thank you. Let's give them our hands.